Alright, we should be live now. Hello. How's it going, everyone? My name is Mitchell Mander, and welcome to today's live stream. We're going to be talking about episode 136 of Pokemon Horizons today. The end of the storyline as we know it. Before we head into Wonder Voyage with episode 137. So yeah. Anyways, how was the episode? Before we get started, just a few things. I just want to say, if you're someone that's brand new to the channel and you like this type of content, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the stream. Definitely hit that like button. Let's try to get 10 likes up in here pretty quickly. Be cool. Would definitely appreciate. Also, you know, join the chat if you haven't already. We got a few people already. I'll get to the chat here in a moment. Another thing to mention here is the music here in the background comes from the Video Game Study Lounge by Game Chops. Link in the description. Lo-fi remixes of video game music along with some originals here and there. You'll hear stuff from Pokemon, Zelda, Mario, Final Fantasy, Halo, Undertale, pretty much any popular game franchise or just game in general. Probably gonna hear like some OSTs in the background, so check it out sometime. It's cool stuff. Anyways, let's see who's all here. We got Kayla. Hey, Absolute Cinema. Welcome to the chat. What's up, Steven? Finally, Liko and Mega Evolutions. We will talk about that here shortly. We'll wait until we get to the later in the stream, but I do have something to say, kind of as a follow-up to the video I made yesterday. What's up, Sharon? What's up, AnyFan? Absolute Peak. 8 out of 10. Overall good episode. Episode 133 was the weakest of the finale, then episode 134. So in other words, it got better. What's up, PokeFan? Unfortunately, I can't stay due to some IRL stuff, but I just want to say real quick, 10 out of 10 episode, amazing finale. Nice. The ghost of Ristal appeared. What's up, chat? Oh, well, that's not for me, really. I'm concerned that there will be episodes next week that are nothing that great, like 6 or 7 out of 10 episodes. Well, we'll have to see. Let's not, you know, fearmonger about it. Let's kind of just wait and see. An issue I have is Mega Zygarde was not necessary. I disagree, because I think it was kind of necessary to weaken the Recurium core, and then Rayquaza kind of finished it off. But I do have some thoughts about Mega Rayquaza and Mega Zygarde that I'm going to mention here. Nico took Fagogo departure well. Technically, you know, near the end of part 1, she was, you know, speculating whether she'd have to say goodbye to Terapagos even then. So, you could say that was foreshadowing that, you know, when the time came for, you know, things to end off here in Rakuro, she would, in fact, be saying goodbye to Terapagos or Fagogo. But yeah, remember to vote in that poll. We have 9 votes, and almost everyone has said 10 or 9. Got 1 vote for 8-7, so pretty good so far. So 136 is definitely getting a 10 out of 10. One of the best finale in any Pokemon anime arc, period. We've got everything in this episode. Spinel Umbreon left him, so I'm wondering if anyone will adopt her. More on that in a little bit. Kind of disappointed Free didn't Mega Evolve his Charizard here. I don't know about you, but like I don't think it really mattered at this point. Kind of a lot going on. I'd say that's kind of minimal compared to what else we could have gotten here. You know, what else with everything going on. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start reviewing, I guess, giving my summary of this episode. I'll end off the chat for now with the kind of disappointed comment from Sharon. Then we'll resume when I'm done. So you can go ahead and keep chatting away. But anyways, I'm going to start talking about episode 136 of Pokemon Horizons. So this episode, starts off where we left off with us going up against the Requiem Core. Everything seems like, it's not going so well. This thing's getting stronger. As it's taking on attacks, it's learning, it's improving, it's guarding, its defenses are increasing as time goes on. So they rationalize they got to finish it off with one big attack. Just their biggest, their full arsenal. Take out this thing, Meanwhile, we got Hamber joining in on the battle, and also the other explorers here. Sango, Onyx, Agate also join in as well to try and help out. But anyways, as they're trying to figure out, hey, we need our strongest attack, suddenly the spirits of Lucius and Gideon show up, and they seemingly give Roy and Amethio the push they need. With Roy Mega Evolving Rayquaza, and then subsequently Amethio Mega Evolving Zygarde. So anyways, they go and they prepare their blast off here. The others help get, weaken the core enough, distract the core enough for them to land their attacks. Core Enforcer hits its mark, damages the Requiem Core. It starts to repair itself before Rayquaza shows up with Dragon Ascent. And it's kind of interesting because Roy has Skeledirge coated with a Torch Song, so it doubles its attack here. And destroy it wrecks the Requiem Core. This is when it seems like it's time to take it out, but even though it's starting to try to come back, it attempts to stop the other, stop everyone from taking it out. It seems like the Pokemon are going to be affected by the Requiem, but Meowscarada manages to fight it off, wakes up everybody else so that they don't end up getting taken over by the Requiem, because that would have pretty much ended things off here in defeat. But they use this moment for Terrapagos to go into its stellar form. All the 18 Terra types immediately terrestrialize, and Terrapagos grabs the Requiem Core and starts to eradicate it. Meanwhile, Spinel actually wakes up from being, encased in the Requiem. And he attempts to attack Terrapagos to stop it from, destroying the Requiem Core. That's when we finally get Liko versus Spinel. A 1v1 battle with Meowscarada versus Umbreon. And even though Umbreon doesn't want to use the Requiem anymore, Spinel basically forces it on him. Liko has her speech about, how she loves Pokemon, and, how this, Umbreon doesn't want the Requiem, and it's like, you should understand that, Umbreon evolves via friendship. And we see kind of a flashback of a young Spinel with his Eevee evolving into Umbreon. So it shows that at some point, he loved his Eevee, but, he lost his way at some point. So, he doesn't see he doesn't see the bond as being a good thing. He doesn't believe in them, whereas Liko does. Liko and the others do. So we pit these two up, and obviously Liko wins. At this point, Spinel doesn't really have anyone to back him up anyways. Pretty much all his grunts pretty much realized the error of their ways, so to say. But Spinel is stubborn to the end. But despite Liko trying to, convince him otherwise, she's, she wants to understand Pokemon, and that's why she loves them so much, whereas Spinel doesn't really care. Obviously his ideology loses out, and Umbreon is defeated. Although Spinel is a bit, he's been destroyed here, he's lost. He attempts to, put Umbreon back in its Pokeball, but at this point he's just, doing all this. He basically, severed his bond with his Pokemon. Umbreon destroys the Pokeball and runs off, and Spinel is just left heading into the woods, you know, defeated. Then we have, as a result of the Recruium being purified, all the Pokemon in the area start slowly coming back. But also, you know, Hamber actually, you know, as his last duty as part of the Explorers, he orders everybody to leave Rikua, so they do so. Don't know why they just decided to just listen to him, but I guess since Spinel no longer is, you know, in power, I guess he can at least do something here. But in order for Rikua to basically, you know, heal and, you know, for things that, you know, the world to eventually, you know, things to come back normal, Terapagos, Rayquaza, Zygarde, and the rest of the hero Pokemon decide to stay in Rikua. So, Liko, Roy, and Amethio release their Pokemon subsequently as a result. So, they end up staying in Rikua, they end up departing, though Liko promises to visit Terapagos again. So maybe, since we're still doing Horizons content, maybe we'll at least get a revisit back to Rikua, maybe towards the end of Horizons, and it's maybe, you know, a proper Pokemon Paradise by that point. Who knows? They could end up, you know, joining our heroes again someday. You never know. But, hey, I guess we'll find out, right? But anyways, as, you know, as we have won here, the good guys have won. The Rise and Volt Tacklers' names have been cleared. They're now seen as the heroes. Specifically Mighty G, since, you know, he's the main star, clearly. Mighty G merch everywhere. But slowly people start reuniting with their Pokemon that, you know, their bonds were severed due to the Requiem. You know, the strong spheres are being removed. There's those two of the individuals that we met, you know, during Mega Voltage. I think it was the Litten girl and the one guy with the Stunfisk. They end up, you know, promoting that the Rising Tacklers are the good guys and the Strong Spears are bad. So they're going away, you know. I kind of wish it was Iono here personally, but hey, what can you do? Diana and Hamber embark on a new journey, so what's going on there? You know, meanwhile we have Exceed, you know, Crave is reinstated as the director, you know, CEO. I was hoping for a Methio, but hey, close enough. And it looks like Freed and his buddy here are gonna be basically researching, you know, and you know, the effects of Requiem and kind of, you know, the fallout with it and stuff like that. So they're gonna be assisting at Exceed. Amethio, you know, reconciles with his dad. We see Zerk and Konia, and they're suited up. So apparently, they've definitely upgraded. They went from grunts to maybe like high up within the company. So talk about a promotion. What else am I missing? We got Sango and Onyx. You know, they're still popular despite everything. And Agate gets her school back. More on that in a second. I'm trying to think what else. There's quite a lot going on here in the finale. Oh yeah, and of course, Spinel has been arrested, and he is in prison, where he belongs, after all the terrible things he's done. But it appears that, you know, his Umbreon maybe is warmed back up to him maybe a little bit, or is at least watching over him while he serves his sentence. But yeah. Anyways, where did I last leave off? Okay, yep, that pretty much takes care of everything there, and now the Rising Volt Tacklers are off on a new journey, which we'll see here with the next episode. Okay, so I think I got pretty much everything. If I left something out, you can say something in the chat. But anyways, overall, I thought this was a pretty good the storyline. I mean, there are some things that, you know, I disagree with some direction here and there, and there's some things I think could have been done better. I overall thought this was a very good, you know, a very fitting finale. Very intense. The animation was a lot better here. I did like seeing, you know, Mega Rayquaza and Mega Zygarde, you know, their shiny variants. That was cool, even though it was very brief in the episode. You know, the passing of the torch scene, you know, Ristal, you know, spirits of Ristal, Lucius and Gibeon, you know, the next generation, you know, took over from them, you know, respectively. It's kind of interesting seeing, you know, Lucius, you know, behind Roy, you know, Gibeon obviously behind his grandson, Matteo, and then, you know, Lucius for, Ristal for Liko, excuse me. Lucius was the boy. But anyways, I thought that was kind of neat. That was all done pretty interestingly well. I don't mind that Terapagos and the others are staying, and Rakua. That was kind of something that we speculated for a long time. But, yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, another thing to mention here is that I think what ultimately happened to Spinel here in the end was actually probably one of the better written endings for a villain, you know. He didn't die, but, like, he kind of, you know, he got what he deserved in the end. You know, this is where he belongs, in prison after everything he's done at this point, so he's paying for his crimes. I think that's a good thing. Some slight issues I do have with this finale, though. Mega Rayquaza, Mega Zygarde. Not gonna lie, kind of. I wish it was kind of done a little bit better, because it kind of reminded me of when Ash got the Pikachu EMZ crystal or whatever it was, the one where it does the, you know, 10,000 megavolts. Kind of felt like that slightly, though this was done slightly better in my opinion than that. But it was kind of reminding me of a little bit of that, and, you know, and obviously another thing that rubbed me the wrong way is Sango and Onyx and Agate, you know, got happy endings, but, like, dude, they helped contribute to this, and they're facing no accountability in the end. I don't know about that. Spinel at least got what he deserved. I think that's good, but the others should have at least gotten some sort of punishment. Especially Agate, since she was basically Spinel's right hand, you know, right hand man in the end, you know. And she just turned just because, you know, she realized that, you know, what the recruiting was doing to her Pokemon, and this is after doing all these terrible things, so, like, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way a bit. I was hoping Amethea would be CEO or, like, the new director for Exceed, but oh well. Also, Freed being part of Exceed, I mean, it's not a bad thing, but, like, wasn't the whole point of, you know, Freed's character, like, him, like, getting away from being cooped up in an office? Or cooped up, you know, in a lab or whatever? And we have Freed going back to the lab? I don't know, it's kind of like, okay. Like, what are they doing with Freed? No, Freed's not going to completely disappear. We did see, like, in the little mini trailer we got at the end of this episode, that he will still, like, appear in the next arc. I don't know about Ametheo, Sango, Onyx, or the others, but Freed will at least be showing up. Maybe not as a main cast, really, but he'll at least be here and there. And we're not only that, we're getting new members, like Navi's gonna be new, so. Anyways, I think my final rating for this finale would be a 9 out of 10. I think overall it's good. I just have a few nitpicks here and there. Like I said, Mega Zygarde, Mega Rayquaza, I feel like that could have been implemented a little bit better, and then obviously Sango, Onyx, and Agate should have faced more accountability and not get let off. Also, Indy and Rubella should have been in prison right next to Spinel, because they basically been causing all these issues, so, like, yeah, like, they kind of sucked as villains, so, you know, I guess they just disappear into the ether, I guess. Anyways, what did you guys think? Let's get caught up in the chat. I've been going on for a little bit, because there's quite a bit to go over there. Okay, we're going to try our best to get caught back up, so forgive me if it takes me a minute, but I will do my best. Would not say this is a 10 out of 10 episode, though. Agreed. Spinel finally got what he deserves. Yep. It did have a couple issues. Yep. People can stop complaining about Roy Oyen, a legendary. I mean, let's just be real. Like, if the series is continuing, wouldn't it be kind of awkward for him to just have this Rayquaza, this level 1000 Rayquaza, you know? He could just win every battle with it. So it'd be too much of a power creep. But we'll see. Like I said, we might go back to Rayquaza before the series ends, and maybe we'll see it as like a proper Pokemon Paradise. I feel like that could be a proper ending to this series, is that we go back to Rayquaza in the end, and it's like, you know, flourishing. We see our buddies one more time, and then, yeah. Series ends. Also seeing Mad Umbreon sure is something, yeah. League of Masquerade got in their time to shine in the episode peak animation in the battle against Spinel. Masquerade, definitely one of my favorite grass type starters. Galar starter? You mean Paldea starter? Excuse me. Oops. Yeah, I will say another thing I failed to mention is, like, Liko versus Spinel, I think was a pretty pivotal moment here, because, like, you know, people have been complaining that Liko has been kind of sidelined, but, like, she really kind of shined through in this finale. Especially, like, she's the one that took on Spinel in the end. I mean, Roy and Amethio kind of pretty much had their main moment here by Mega Evolving, you know, Rayquaza and Zygarde, respectively, while Terapagos was eradicating the Rayquarium. They kind of all played a part. Those are like the three main players here. It was Liko, Roy, and Amethio in this finale. So, not saying that nobody else contributed, but they were like the main players here, since they inherited Lucius, Gibeon, and Bristol's, you know, will. So yeah. Hey, what's up, Thomas? You're fine. Liko had her moment to shine, which is great. Masquerade's design is lovable, cool typing of grass and dark moveset, amazing. Would have liked to have Masquerade learn a new move. I think it's fine. Our heroes, long nightmares, Spinel, strong spheres, and the Croom Core is finally over. Croom Core is finally over. Repeat, over. Hoping Liko and Dot catch new Pokemon in Arc 7. We'll see. Also, I'm wondering if we'll see Amethio in the next arc. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? I think we'll see Diana in the next arc. Possibly. She's on a journey with Hamber, so maybe we'll run into her. Seeing the Mega Rayquaza and Mega Zygarde is legendary, pun intended. Is this live or pre-recording? Hey, Executive Judge. Nope, this is live. I was just going over the summary, and it's kind of a meaty episode, so it kind of took a little bit longer than usual. What happened to his other Pokemon? I don't know. You know, considering the fact that he doesn't care about bonds and stuff, wouldn't be surprised if he'd, like, ditch them or something. Off screen. Dang right. Spinel deserved his prison sentence after everything is done. Yep. That's how they did the villain good this time. That's one thing that the Pokemon anime tends to struggle with, is how to kind of just, you know, rate certain villains. You know, some have been fine, some not so great, but I think they did a pretty good job with Spinel. Although I think I would have liked Spinel to do more. You know, he didn't really do a whole lot, and not only that, he didn't really have any threatening Pokemon. He was just kind of using people to, you know, his own, you know, gain and stuff. So, so much for him having a Mega Darkrai, right? When what Spinel will appear in the next arc? I'd probably say no. He's gonna be in jail for a long time after what he's done. I don't think he's probably not gonna see the light of day for a while, besides from his window, from his jail cell. I binged all 4 episodes of the finale as a whole, and it was well worth the wait. Nice. Super Plush Productions. Hey, honestly, I think this should have been the end of Horizons. It does feel like, I will say, this does feel like this could have been a fitting ending for the series, and then maybe have like an epilogue episode where it kind of just shows what some of the characters are doing now or something. But, you know, I mean, hey, I don't know. we'll have to see what Wonder Voyage gives us. I know people have been kind of just doom posting and just talking about how, you know, Wonder Voyage and, you know, Horizon should have ended, and what we're getting is just filler, and like it's gonna be awful and terrible. And I'm like, guys, let's just wait and see. If it ends up being bad, then it ends up being bad, you know. then everyone, you know, worries will come true. But it could still be pretty decent. I mean, we got some legendary Pokemon that are coming. Obviously, the mobile stuff I don't really care so much for, but hey, we'll have to see how Wonder Voyage does. Let's just wait and see. I'm telling people to stop being so negative about it, you know, when it hasn't even started airing yet. If it starts airing and it's not good, then sure. But like, let's wait and see. I'm just tired of people just doom posting for no reason. And no, Horizon is now on a 2-week break. I predicted that after episode 136 there would be a 2-week break, and lo and behold, Anipoke calendar is revealed. My prediction was true. I'm surprised they're doing it, because they had a 2-week break just like the last month, and that was between cores. But doing it again so soon is kind of surprising. The guys with the Mega Raichus are imposters. Yeah, Sharon, we know. I found that out after making my video, so I'll be making a correction when I do the episode title video coming up here soon. Yep, Wonder Voyage arc is definitely the final epilogue arc to end Horizons. Is it the end though? We don't know if it's the final arc though, Indie fan. Winds and Waves doesn't come out until next year, so we could have another arc after this. I mean, they go and the Rainbow Tacklers are heroes, so they kind of like celebrities now, I guess. They didn't really like showcase the Rainbow Tackler. Like, we don't know. I don't know. Does the general public, besides the people that have run in them, know who exactly the Rainbow Tacklers are? But I don't know. Maybe they are celebrities now. Maybe that's why they got their imposters coming up. Yep. Glad that the rest of the other characters joined, like Nimona, Ann, Penny, Diana, Amber. Songo, Onyx, and Agate should have received some sort of punishment instead of not facing any consequences. Agreed. I mean, Indie Rebella need to stay gone. Both had their time, and they should not come back. They're kind of the worst. Like, people complain about Zirconconia, but like, literally, Indie and Rebella are just objectively worse. At least Zirconconia have personalities. They just don't. Is Freed actually going to going back to lab, or is it just a title or on technicality? I don't know. It seems to imply that he's going to be doing this, so he's probably going to be busy with it. That's the implication. I guess we'll have to see if he's with the crew again. I'm just at the point where I'm like, yeah. We got rid of Freed, but we gained Alt in his place, so I don't know if that's an even trade or not, but yeah. That being said, I will say another thing I did like about this finale was Alt and Freed working together with Dragonite and Charizard, respectively. It was really nice. Not gonna lie. Speaking of these two, when the animation turns 11 for no reason, well, you know, you got a big episode. You kind of got to go all out, right? And they save their budget for the finale, which is what they always do. That's what they did in the Masters 8. That's what they did in a bunch of other arcs in the series, in the previous series. Arc 5 has the weakest finale. Yep. The Rising Again arc finale blew away the Mega Voltage arc finale. Yep. How would you rank each arc finale from best to worst? From worst, I would say Arc 5 was definitely at the end. Arc 1 didn't really have a very great finale either, not gonna lie. I actually think, in my opinion, the Galarian Moltres stuff should have been the finale for that arc, and then, we would have started the next arc, going to, meet Diana. That's just me. This is where it gets kind of tough, because, I think this finale and Arc 4's finale are pretty much tied. With this maybe having a slight... I might actually prefer this slightly over 4. Not sure. I feel like those two could be interchangeable, but I guess for the rest... I would say Arc 3 would be kind of next. Even though I liked Liko versus Roy, Arc 2 had a really good finale. Despite the fact that I don't really care for... I didn't really care for Arc 2. It had a really... Like, they landed that ending for sure. To set up for Terrestrial debut. And then Arc 4 and 6, it's really hard to say which one I like better. Like I said, it's interchangeable. I liked Arc 4 because it was very tense and it was... you know, the Reasonable Tacklers lost. Like, the good guys lost in the end. Even though it seemed like they were winning, they ended up losing. And, you know, and Spinel came into power. But that led to, you know, this ending, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. Hard to say. I guess for now I'll put this as my favorite ending. And then, you know, Arc 4's ending is number 2. Sound good? We still didn't get an Armories versus Cerulege battle, so we probably will see a Metheo as a rival for Tuliko. That'd be cool. I wouldn't mind that. Why didn't Spinel use his other mons? Beats me. Spinel not having a Mega. Yeah, I'll admit Spinel could have done a little bit more here, not gonna lie. Songo, Onyx, and Agate have Megas, but Spinel doesn't. Okay. Give Liko Mega Absol Z, or Mega Clefable, or Mega Drampa, Mega Ampharos Dot. Also have Captain Pikachu, so Mega Raichu is not needed. I do want us to get that Roy and Nemona rematch in the next arc. And a Penny and Dot rematch. We'll see. We'll see if they head back. Well, I guess we are going back to Paldea for the Koraidon Miraidon stuff, so hey, maybe we'll have that rematch. Maybe before we go back to probably Area 0. Maybe we'll have Arven actually do something. Please and thanks. I do want us to get that Roy version. Yeah, I already read that already, sorry. Given that we will see Koraidon Miraidon and Treasures of Ruin, so we will probably see Orange Academy again. Yep. I do wonder if we will see Diana Hammer in the episode where they go back to Kitakami, where we see Ogerpon and the Disloyal 3 or Loyal 3, whatever you want to call them. Yeah. We could have that. Maybe Diana's the reason we go back to Kitakami, and then we meet Kieran, and then, you know, Ogerpon, the Disloyal 3 show up, and Petrarant, you know, is involved or something like that. I could see something like that happening. What was the Arc 4 ending? That was Rayquaza Rising. That was our first trip to Rakua. We beat Gibeon. Spinel uses his the one strong, not the strong spear, but the one spear that contains the Rakurium. It was basically the prototype for the strong spears to take over the control of 5 of the 6 hero Pokemon, except for Rayquaza, who manages to get away. Rakua falls into chaos. We have to basically run away from Rakua. Liko ends up losing Lucius's stuff. We get the Bravasagi gets damaged as it we hit that button that Freed created, and then Freed gets thrown off. So, yeah, it was kind of a dramatic finale. Some of it I think kind of lost a little bit, you know, with Freed surviving and stuff. But yeah. Megaltaria fits Liko best. I think we've already. I was gonna say. I think we've already like talked about that. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. I hope we get some type of league or tournament arc sometime. I don't know about a league. I'd probably I'd probably hold your thoughts on like a potential league. Because as of right now, I don't know if the characters are gonna do something like that. Now, if they do like some type of tournament arc, like, you know, the one that you have back in, you know, Scarlet and Violet, back at Orange Academy, That would be cool. And I've said before, I think it should end with another Liko versus Roy battle. And it ends in a way that, you know, we don't know who ended up winning, kind of thing. So it's left up to interpretation. But you could have, you know, Roy battled against Nimona and win for the, you know, in their final battle. You could have Dot defeat Penny finally. You know, maybe Alt beats someone like Arvin or Kieran or something. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. But ends up losing to Roy, and then, you know, maybe Dot loses to Liko or something. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. But yeah, we could. I could see something like that happening. If we get to see Alt's dad income way, even if it's a relatively minor. You know, they've already established his dad, so, and the fact that we're still like carrying on leads me to believe that we're probably going to end up running into him. Maybe we'll run into Roy's parents at some point. That'd be nice. Arc 4 leading to the time skip, yep. Also, Navi having a ZA Mega is something that could happen, possibly. I want to see Roy's parents and Alt reunite with his dad, yep. Took the words right out of my mouth. Alright, I just want to stop for a second to say, hey, thanks guys for joining today. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Can we get to 10 likes here, please? We're at 8 right now, and we got 10 people here, so it would be cool if we can get this to 10 likes. Definitely would appreciate it. And also, vote in the poll. We are currently at 13 votes, and 9 is overwhelmingly winning, with 8-7, well, being like a very distant second place. So needless to say, I think people like this episode. So go ahead, vote, like, all that good stuff. Please and thanks. The more you do, the more it helps the channel out and spreads the word. And we can get even more people up in here. The worst writing in this series was that Freed did not have a reason for not contacting the crew members during the time skip. I am not going to let that go. It was an objective blemish on the series. Yeah. I mean, I know we've already been over this several times, but yeah. I still think there's a way they could have written that would be better. Like, hey, he lost his phone. Maybe he was being tracked by the explorers and he had to lay low and he couldn't, like, make contact until, like, you know, he could get out, and then maybe he escaped into space in order to get away or something like that. I feel like there's ways they could have written that a little bit better to make it make more sense. Hey, what's up, Kevin? How are you doing? The only dad we don't know anything we know about is Dots. I think that would be cool for it to be Peony. Isn't Peony Penny's dad? Or implied to be her dad or something? That being said, Peony would be actually really cool to actually have in the series. I just don't know if they could do something like that since, you know, it would be tied to the previous series and he's Chairman Rose's brother, and yeah. I do think they will return to Rakua in the future. I think that would be cool for Larry to reappear with a Megastaraptor. Maybe. I'm back. I had to help my brother clean the backyard. You're good. Konya really came in clutch with the Sub-Fairy Terra. Yeah. Oh, you mean a Sango. Also, the next arc gave us ZA Emma with Mega Malamar versus Mega Lucario Z battle. If Navi is from Lumiose City, that tells me we're probably gonna maybe have a pit stop in Lumiose. Probably see Emma again, and it would be cool, you know, because we saw her, you know, in the Mega Evolution special episodes, and she was in her original design. it'd be cool, you know, 1 year later she's in her more, you know, her current ZA design. I've been saying that for a while. And since the series is continuing, we might as well go and, you know, visit her, and she's gonna see, you know, how much Alt and Roy have changed. She'll be meeting Liko and Dot. It'd be cool. And then we pick up Navi, and then we head out to wherever we're going. Peony is Penny's dad. Yep. I'm pretty sure, like, it's the implication, but, like, I'm pretty sure it's not outright confirmed, but, like, it's basically implied based on their dialogue. So it must be true. Hey, listen. Navi Zelda reference. Yep. Right? So whenever we get that Zelda music, just say, hey, listen. Gita returns with Mega Glimora. Songo, that's what I meant. I was gonna see Mega Golisopod. Are you afraid Spinel is going to escape from jail? I fear Umbreon will break him out. I don't think so. I think Spinel as a character, his character arc as a villain has come to an end. It'd be weird for him to break out and he's like, oh, well, what is he gonna do at this point? He's got nothing, you know. He's gonna have no one to support him. He would basically, you know, be starting from scratch. So I don't see it happening. Hopefully Gita Mega evolves her Glimora. Hope the villains era is done. It seems like we're probably going to be doing some chill stuff, but we might have like mini villains during, like, you know, some of the conflicts with some of the legendaries we're going to be encountering. We'll see. Like with I can see us going back to Area Zero for Maridon and Koridon. So yeah. Hopefully, yeah. I already read that. Ivor with Mega Phalanx and Colbert with Mega Scolipede. It would be interesting if they actually show up. This could be their opportunity to actually get some actual ZA characters to show up. Not counting Emma. But some of the characters that were introduced within ZA, I wouldn't be surprised if they show up. This is their opportunity to do that. Now that we're done with the main plot line, we're at a point in the series where anything can happen. So basically, if there's some characters that haven't shown up that you think could fit, they have the potential of showing up now. If there's some characters that didn't get a lot of screen time earlier or barely anything, this is their time to shine. Like Armin and Karen. We're at a point where, like, the plot is opened up, so they can do, you know, whatever at this point. So it's gonna be kind of hard to predict where the series goes from here now. So that's good. That's a good thing, I guess. You never know. I just hope it's well done. I do have my own worries for the Wonder Voyage arc too, but I'm kind of in a wait and see kind of thing to see if it ends up being good or not. How Canary with Mega Electros. We could see that. We could see an Iono Canary episode. Wouldn't that be funny? And they're rivals or something. Nido thing could be involved. Wouldn't that make for an interesting episode? It's confirmed because she complains about her dad saying the catchphrase from Sword and Shield DLC. It's a phrase that Peony said all the time. Yeah. Is there going to be a baby time skip and Navi shows up in the next arc? I don't know. This could be like right after, a couple months later. Who knows? I want to see a Nomona versus Gita battle. Palmont versus Shiny King Gambit. Oh, that'd be interesting. The Wonder Voyage arc is definitely a breath of fresh air. It's similar to Terrestrial debut arc, for different reasons. There's really no point Spinel villain arc. Villain point is done. I'm just hope we see Sango in the future. She's my favorite character. Me too. Look, you guys know how I feel about Sango and how she's secretly my favorite character. The little gremlin she is. It'd be cool if we run into them again and they're just rivals now. That'd be cool. But we'll see. With the legendary quartet, one episode can be them gathering the stakes, and then the other one can be battling them. Yeah, and then there's 4 of them, so each one of them can battle one. There you go. Problem solved. Oh, hey, Emerald, you're here. Also, do more with the Paradox Moons. Well, I mean, you got the opportunity now. I didn't think that Ivor could possibly... I didn't think of that Ivor could definitely show up. I think that high possibility with Mega Flinks being in the poster. Yeah, I mean, that could be an implication. It could be just a random one, but it also could be his. So, like I said, the series is now open now that we don't have the plot that's been going on for 3 years. So now anything could happen. Any character that hasn't shown up can show up now. So it's going to be interesting because it's going to be hard to predict, but the sky's the limit now, so Horizons has earned the benefit of the doubt, so don't worry about the next arc. Yes, exactly. I'm tired of the Doom posting. Let's just wait and see. With Pokemon Unite, how will it work in the anime? It'll probably be a singular episode. Maybe it'll be like one of those, in the previous, Ashime, as they call it now. It'll be an episode where they have like a competition and, Captain Pikachu ends up, joining or something like that. Or maybe they have like a team of their own Pokemon that are in it. Maybe it'll consist of Pokemon that are currently in Unite. I can just see that being like an episode. And maybe we'll see like the professor that's in that game in the anime. That'd be very weird. But yeah. Don't tell me I have to go back and stream Unite after this. Please, I gave up that game 3 years ago, bro. Oh hey, Octopath. Lo-fi. Jeff's favorite song. For some reason I thought Hamber was one of your favorites. Oh, I mean, I don't mind Hamber. I wouldn't say he's one of my favorites. But, he's gotten a little bit better. He's pretty cool dude. I just think there's better characters within the Explorers personally. Like Sango is definitely number 1, of course. Spinel, I think, was done pretty good. I think he could have done a little bit more, but yeah. And Methio is probably one of my favorites too. But yeah. When he wasn't part of the Explorers. My guess is that you will have 2 teams that battle enemy Pokemon and they'll have to dunk into goals. Pretty much unite. So who's going to be the new villain in the Wonder Voyage arc? Will we have a villain? We might have mini villains. Like you have those imposter Rise and Volt tacklers are going to be probably one. With Pokopia, have us see Rotom, Stereo, and Pikachu, and Tink Master, and Professor Tangrowth. We'll see, Sharon. I would, you can hope for the best, but just keep in mind that it possibly might not happen, too, so we'll see. Are you planning on getting anything from the Pokemon X Target drop? I know it's off topic. Probably not. Target, there's only one Target in my area, and it's a little bit of a drive, so I'm not sure. Technically, we are getting a new Target in my area. It's just under construction right now. but to me to get to Target's on the other side of town, and I got there's other places that I could go to for my shopping and stuff. So Target's something that I don't really utilize these days. Is it for like the TCG or something? May I ask? I'm just curious. In the meantime, I'll continue on with the chat here. Also, them wearing HoloWare could be cute. Like they have the potential to do that. I mean, if it's gonna be Unite, they can do that. They can put their outfits on. Mona and Penny in the anime. My favorites are Songo, Amethio, Hamber, Diana, Tonia, Dot, Gotcha. Mitch, how do you highlight someone's name in your message like Emerald did to me? I tried using the @ symbol, but it doesn't seem to work. Oh. I don't really... Do you mind if I do like a little test here? I'm actually not sure how he did that. Emerald, explain. The online drop is tomorrow, gotcha. My favorites are Liko, Dot, Nimona, Penny, gotcha. In the preview for the next arc, there's a funny scene of Quaquaval being shocked by a Pichu. I mean, it's super effective, even if it is, a weaker mon. It's for the 30th anniversary. Today is the store drop. Tomorrow they drop the merch online. Oh, interesting. I'll have to check it out then. Also, Navi was using a telescope, so she could be someone that likes to travel on the seas. By the looks of it, maybe. I've got a Target in West Virginia. I see. Anyways, once again, a reminder to hit that like button if you haven't already. If you've done so, you've done your part. But also, remember to vote in the poll. We are currently at still 13 votes. So if you haven't voted already, go ahead and vote. Nearly an hour. Wow. It doesn't feel like it's been an hour. It's one of those episodes, so definitely quite a bit to talk about. My favorite is Nimona, Liko, and Metheo after episode 60. Gotcha. My goals for the series is Armrouge gets a psychic type move, Tinkaton gets a special attack, hopefully a fairy move, but because she's Steel Terra, you can see it could be Flash Cannon. Next arc, we need a backstory episode for Navi. Probably. I guess we'll see. I wonder how Navi will interact with Alt. Oh, that's going to be interesting to see. I kind of want another trailer. I'm hoping we get at least one more before the arc starts. I did see that we did get episode titles when I woke up this morning, but there's no summary. There's not really anything to really talk about yet, so I'm a hold on that for a bit until we get some more information here. I will say that it was confirmation that those two individuals that were in the video I made yesterday were indeed imposters, so I was in fact wrong. So I will course correct whenever I do my video on the episode titles. But anyways, guys, we are coming up on 1 hour here. So, typically this is where we start talking about what we think is coming next. But we've already been doing that a little bit already. But like I said, we are completely open now with now that we are done with the whole the Rayquaza plot, Terrapagos, the Explorers. You know, all that stuff is now done. We're going into a brand new storyline here, a brand new saga, so to say, for the series. So, yeah. Anything could happen at this point. One of the first episodes of this arc will be Liko and Dot imposter episode with the Mega Raichus. You know, it's funny looking at the original screenshot for it. It's kind of hard to tell. That imposter for Liko looks very much like Liko. The Dot one, though, is just fat. Maybe Murdoch's cooking was getting to her. Too many cakes. Then one episode will be the episode where we get introduced to Navi. Yep, probably here soon. But, yep, we're coming up to the 1 hour mark. You guys got anything else for me today? Gens 5 through 8 anime was 140 something episodes. Yeah. And this series is changing things up because we're moving on from the 3-year cycle between generations to now we're having a 5-year cycle probably going forward. So when Gen 15 comes out, we're all gonna be old. Yes, I know that's 6 gens away, but that's 30 years from now. Well, more like 25 or 26, really. I'm not gonna enjoy the Wonder Voyage arc. King Shepherd, hey, do you think the main characters will catch any more Pokemon? I mean, we have the potential for them to catch more Pokemon now. I mean, you know, this episode with the imposters implies that it shows them with Mega Rings, so maybe that gives Liko and Dot a reason to, you know, get Mega Rings and stuff. We could have that. It would be a cruel joke if those imposters show up, they have the Mega Raichu X and Y, and it's just, oh yeah, the imposters get the Megas, but Liko and Dot don't. Rip. So I wouldn't be surprised if they caught some new Pokemon. You know, Roy and Liko just had to let go of Rayquaza and Terrapagos respectively, so they're back down to 3 Mons both. So yeah, gotta go and catch them all again, so to say. Thanks for the 10 likes, y'all. Let's get to 15 now. Imagine if we saw Serena with Mega Delphox. I mean, I don't think we're gonna see someone like Serena in the series again, but like again, you never know. But then it would, then we'd have a little bit of a problem, though. That would mean that the Ashame takes place before, you know, between, you know, during, you know, the Ashame doesn't take place in the pre-time skip. Vice versa. That means Liko and Roy technically became trainers before Ash did, so might be an issue. 3 years of the Pokemon Horizons anime. That's insane. Yeah, it's been going on for a little over 3 years now. It started April 14th, 2023. Here it is, May 2nd, 2026. So a little over 3 years now. 4 or 5 year wait between generations. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much where we're gonna probably be at going forward because we don't need another Scarlet and Violet, dude. We don't need Switch era, you know, mistakes to persist. We need actual like quality games, and quality is something that's been lacking a lot in Pokemon for honestly a while. But like it came to a head with Scarlet and Violet, so it was just you know. It was building up, but the fact that you know that we're now out of this 3-year cycle means that we could actually get a little bit more time dedicated to these games, which means they're finally gonna you know run smoothly, hopefully, and actually be competent games. So hopefully, Winds and Waves comes out and they're great. It doesn't really matter if they're good or bad; they're still gonna sell. To me, the imposter, Liko had a Mega Ring, but not the real one. You think so? That looks like a Mega Ring to me, unless it's just poorly drawn, or just from what we can see, maybe it's just a rough drawing. Like I said in my video yesterday, it looks like a very rough drawing, even if they are imposters. For me, I worry about time. I know we have another year, but I still don't know if they will rush. Still don't know if they'll rush their development. I mean, if they're in 5-year cycles now, that tells me they aren't rushing anymore. It pretty much tells me that hopefully they learned their lesson from Scarlet and Violet, and we're not going to get any more bad games. They did that with Charcadet. Oh, you mean they're rushing development? Like. You think they rushed Charcadet's development? Is that what you're saying, Kevin? I thought they did that pretty decently. They gave it like immediate focus. I still think the best Pokemon story was the Chimchar saga. Fair enough. That's still pretty. That's still pretty up there. Yeah, I'd have to agree. It's up there. Promo for Wonder Voyage arc looks promising. And then there's Sparkles on the 22nd of May, which is likely due to the fact that it's the beginning of a new arc, rather than something like crazy happening. I think they've done that before. They did that with Mega Voltage too, with its first episode. First 2 episodes, I should say. Antenna, they took forever for it to develop. Yeah, I agree with that one. You could say that for a lot of the secondary mons, though. I mean, it could have been nice for more Pokemon main character evolutions in Arc 7. Oh, we don't have any Pokemon currently that can evolve, so, you know, gotta catch some new ones, right? Harlster, hey, what's up? How are you doing? Showing up over an hour into the stream. Better late than never, I suppose, right? In Arc 7, have Hatterene learn Dazzling Gleam, give Armor's Psychic or Expanding Force. That was the episode. I give it a 9.5 out of 10 for me. Nice. Gotcha. Only saw a Mega Ring on the Imposter Liko, but not the wrist of the real one in the trailer. What if the imposters stole it? I'm just coping at this point. Also give Goldango Flash Cannon and Shadow Ball. Also give Meowscarada Night Slash and Leaf Storm in Arc 7. I will say after this episode, I'm glad Spinel didn't die. If you ask me, he got a fate worse than death. I agree. He is going to pay for his crimes by spending some time in jail, potentially for the rest of his life. Or at least for a very long time. All our heroes, Pokemon, Horizons are fully evolved. Yep. I would also love Liko's armors to be confirmed to be male. Maybe. We'll have to see. Called a side effect of having to help look after 4 siblings and losing track of time. But yeah, you're right, better late than never. No, you're good. Speaking of Pokemon, hey, look at that. A Pokemon Lo-Fi remix in the flesh. Alright, quiz for you all. What town is this a Lo-Fi remix of? I know it's a little bit of a we're kind of veering off from our normal discussion, but quiz time. Which town is this a Lo-Fi remix of? And what region? Swabble for Liko, Bittybug for Dot, or Dottler for Dot, and Dragon type for Roy. That could work. Their fate's worse than death. Armorers has not done much lately, so give it another big focus episode in Arc 7. I mean, it did help out a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago, I should say, when it evolved. I was not expecting the spirits of the OG explorers to appear. Yeah, that was a little nice surprise. You think we'll ever get a battle between Ash and Roy? It'll be Mount Silver. That's wishful thinking, in my opinion. That also kind of like the problem now is we had a time skip, so it's like, is Ash gonna look the same? And if that's the case, if he's the same 10-year-old that we always know him as, then that means Horizons Part 1 takes place before Ash set out on his journey. Just saying. Unova. Yep, you got the region. What's the town? Would you? You've asked me this already, Sharon. Sure, whatever. Unova. Definitely Unova town, but the town name is slipping my mind. It is, I believe it's your hometown. Novemma, I believe is the name of the town. Novemma town? Unova. So, get the region right, so there you go. We moved from Pokemon to Chrono Cross, so... And I love this remix, too, so... I can chill. Legal Roy and Amethio are an embodiment of Lucius, Bristol, and Gibeon. Roy should have caught low kicks and Skull Villain. Skull Villain, yeah, that one should have been one of his mons. Oh well. It shows that Gibeon did reconcile with Zygarde after death. Yep, he's reformed, even if he's a ghost now. The first down. Also hope we see Umbreon again at some point. Maybe. It's hard to say. Okay. We're just testing out something. Sorry about that. Also, how fitting that just like how Zygarde abandoned its partner, Umbreon abandoned Spinel. That's a nice parallel that I didn't realize. Zygarde did abandon Gibeon, and then Umbreon abandoned Spinel. I see what you did there, Pokemon Horizons. That's clever. Maybe I will bump my rating up to a 9.5. Didn't think about that one. Liko should have got Titanier as Azumarill. Azumarill fits for sure. I don't know about Sea Titan. Whew. Harlster, whenever you get a chance, go look at what I posted in Anipoke. The inspiration tab gave me some ideas for videos, and Yeah, just take a look at it when you get a second. Some of them are just, yeah, something else. Liko should. Okay, I already read that already. Dot should have gotten Ampharos or Toadschool. Giraffe AA. Toadschool could work. Ampharos would also work as well. The only reason this episode is not a 10 for me is because I feel the others, especially Agate, got off too easy. Exactly, I already mentioned that. They kind of, you know, contributed to all of this, and, like, them getting away scotch-free kind of doesn't sit well with me, personally. They should have at least faced accountability, especially Agate. Her going back and becoming a teacher, it just doesn't feel satisfying. It's just like, oh, she reformed at the last minute, so she's good, guys. Let's make her a teacher again. Roy should have caught Frigabax. I don't know about that one. Skull Villain, yes. Sandy Shocks is another one that he could have caught, but didn't. But yeah. Nico having Altaria would also be a nice nod to Grusha, the trainer who had a huge impact on Liko as a trainer. It'd be nice if she went back and battled him at some point too. That'd be cool. Rematch. Liko getting Glimmet. I'm going to let you go, Mitchell. Get ready for work. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. All right, Kevin, thank you for hanging out with us. Hopefully work goes well for you, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one in about 3 weeks. Dot getting Spidops. Looks like we'll be in Kalos first. Well, we'll see what these episodes have in store for us. I just checked the anipoke section. Yeah. take a look at some of a good look at some of them, you know, when you get a chance. The one on the bottom left was the one that got me the most at first, but if you look at some of the other ones, some of them are just like, yeah, come on. If you go to the inspiration tab on your YouTube studio, I don't know if it will work for people that don't have like content or whatever on YouTube, but for me, it's all this is all I get. It's like, this is a great idea for your video. Yeah, I'm gonna use this stuff as like totally. That's totally Liko and that's totally Lucius. What in the Lord of the Rings am I looking at? Skidoo fits Liko and Dot. Mar fits Liko. No, the Orbeetle line is the only bug type that hits Dot. You make a fairly strong point, my friend. But will it happen? Or should it have happened? Who knows? Whew. Starting to get a little hungry here, but since this was a bigger episode, I'm willing to go stretch this out as long as possible. If you don't mind, at least go to 1:30 today. Also, Hamber and Diana are totally a thing, right? Also saw the scene of them, and I'm like, just get together already. I mean, I don't think Liko's grandpa's around anymore. That's the implication, is that he's like gone or something. So, you know, hey, why not? I mean, I guess Hamber's free now. He doesn't have to serve the explorers anymore, so he's a free man now. He can do whatever he wants. So, sure, why not? People keep saying like, "Oh, I think Liko and Roy should get together," when in reality, the real in-game couple here was, you know, Diana and Hamber. And y'all thought that Freed and Orla were going to be a thing too. Nope. You got Grandma and Grandpa here getting together. Hee hee hoo hoo. Palmot fits Liko even though Nimona has one. Yeah, so that means she ain't getting it. Reverum fits Roy, but I don't know. Not at this point. Masquerada is from Galar. Isn't from Galar, she's from Paldea, my mistake. Yeah. When I saw Galar, I was like, no. Grookey was the starter from that gen. And I'm like, I don't think Masquerada is a Rillaboom, so yeah. Fiddle fits Liko. Hatterene is another one of my favorite Pokemon from Liko. Wish she did more, though. Other issue I had with this arc in general, not against the episode specifically, is that I wish Spinel was explored more. Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that he got his little mini flashback here. That was nice. But like, I think one problem I had with Spinel as the main villain is that like, it felt like he has all this power. He like usurped the explorers and Exceed, but like, he doesn't really have the power to back it. Like, Zongo, Onyx, and Agate have megas, but like, he doesn't. So much for him having like a Mega Darkrai. If he had a Mega Darkrai, that would have been like, oh, okay, this guy's, he's packing heat. He's someone we can't mess around with. I almost feel like if we had another episode where we had like a full-on battle with him, and that's when we beat him, and he's like, they're like, give up, and then he just fuses with the Recurium core, and then all the stuff that happened afterwards happens. You can even still have Umbreon, versus Masquerada as kind of like a final, like, desperate attempt to stop the Recurium from being, erased. You can still have that happen, but if you did something like that, it would make him a little bit more threatening, just saying. So I'd say in that regard, Spinel was a bit rushed and could have probably been handled a bit better. But yeah. No joke, I'm pretty sure Freed has autism. He most likely on the spectrum. I mean, he has a problem like talking, telling, information. That's kind of been a recurring thing in the series. That was something from the very beginning when he brought Liko on board. They're like, hey, did you like explain anything to her? Or are you just like grabbing her and just taking her with us? Kind of not a good thing, bro. You're gonna get Officer Jenny on you. He's done that multiple times. Where he'll know something and he won't say anything. So maybe that just... Maybe him not calling them for a year actually fits in this character after all. Bro just doesn't know. Minfu fits Liko. Sorry I got mixed up. Rillaboom, Galar, Masquerade, Paldea. You're good. You're good. Jump flip for Liko? Also, Umbreon is a woman. That was cool to find out. Yeah, that was nice. Belly Boat fits Dot, but Iono has Belly Boat, so no. If Ash comes back in the next anime, he should be a mentor in the next main character. It's still my hot take that Ash, they need to kind of just leave Ash be and kind of just do new characters going forward with different goals. Horizons, some people haven't been the biggest fan of Horizons due to this change, but I actually think it's been a refresh. It's exactly what the anime's needed for a long time, personally. So I kind of want to see new characters like going forward. I think the next series, I would like it to be. We don't need to do like the duo format anymore. Just drop that. Have 3 characters. Have them have 3 different goals. One is like the main league goal for the series. One can be like the main gimmick for the series, or like the main thing, like contest or whatever Winds and Waves brings. And then the other can be anime original. And then, also have a bit of a return to form for the series. Instead of us region hopping, just take place in whatever region Winds and Waves takes place in. Exclusively. You can have some characters from like other regions show up for like as tourists or whatever, but like take place entirely in the new region. No more region hopping. Let's just explore the current region. Just do that. We've done dual protagonists for 2 series in a row, and they both series have their own. They do it. They do it in different ways, but in both ways it came out kind of messy. So next series have 3 characters, no more than that. No characters being introduced midway in the series. Just have that, and then have them flesh out their goals. And then probably won't happen, but a seasonal approach I think would be the best way to tell the next series. And the best part is, it may not seem like the case, but like, if the anime is indeed going to be 5 years, like if we're going to have 5-year cycles between generations, 25 episodes a year is enough to suffice. 5 years, 20 times 25 is 5 times 25 is 125, so that's still a pretty decent amount of episodes. Just saying. Anyways, gotta get caught up in the chat before I spend the next 10 minutes getting caught up. The whole point of Spinel is that he doesn't use his Pokemon that much. Instead, he manipulates others in society to do his bidding. Yeah, exactly. It's just that, like, if they were to turn on him, he'd just be screwed. He's just very charismatic, and he's very cunning, so that's why he gets things to work in his favor. I do wish we kind of got more of him and Agate's relationship, like how he basically convinced her to join his side or whatever. That kind of was never really explored, and I wish they would have done that. Which is why Agate kind of getting off scot-free in the end kind of just doesn't sit well with me. It makes sense he didn't with his addiction to the Evercurium and the fact that he was Lico's opponent. Which I loved that battle. It's so well done. Yeah, probably at this point he kind of got the same symptom as like Gibeon did, where he was like obsessed with the Recurium to the point where he just like wanted more of it, but now it was gone. Sango's one of my favorite characters in Horizons. He was Rush. Hey, what's up, Beast Mode God? Capsule fits Liko. The fact that she used all 4 moves, starting with Quick Attack and ending with Magical Leaf, which is essentially meant to be an upgraded version of Leafage. Boom. Took him out. Rami fits Liko. Exceed. No, Exceed and Metheo there now. Dual protagonist is messy. Can we get one character focusing on gym battles? Not gonna lie, I'm missing the gym battle aspect. We got a little bit in Horizons, but like we basically had 2 generations where we haven't, like, the gyms haven't been the focus. That's what I'm saying. Have one character, their focus is the league of whatever they, however the league are conducted in the Winds and Waves region. Another character, the main gimmick or the main like side thing in the game, kind of like contests in previous games, but maybe it's something new with Winds and Waves. Third character, anime original. And that could be anything. Take place in the new region, and yeah, that's just my ideal like next gen anime series. But yeah, oh yeah, we should have seen Spinel's other Pokemon get compensated, right? Miraculous 365. Hey, what's up? But Mitchell, how about in the Gen 10 anime they introduced and focused on 6 kids rather than focusing on 5 kids like Horizon with Liko, Dot, Alt, and eventually Navi? Oh, you just want to keep building them up more and have unfocused development? Okay, fair enough. Nobody gets development in the next series. Magical Leaf is an upgrade to Leafage, yep. Well, given that the next region is a bunch of islands, I'm down for that only take place in one region. We'll die in the hill. Keep the anime as a weekly series. You can still take 2-week breaks. I guess we're going to have to agree to disagree with that. I'm still saying if we're having 5-year cycles, 25 episodes a year is still a lot of episodes in the end. You don't have to necessarily have it quite as long as what we're doing right now, but 3 characters, no like additional characters besides like rivals and stuff. Keep it more simple. Then I think you'd have a pretty evenly paced series. Or if you do dual protagonists, have those 2 characters be the characters, and not have like a Koharu or like Dot or Alt. Not saying that I don't like those characters. It's just, yeah. actually stick to it. Pokemon Anime needs to stop doing weekly episodes, just do seasonal new episodes, yeah. Remember, folks, today's important lesson is the bonds with your friends and Pokemon can overcome, Requiem addictions. I guess they're gonna have therapy sessions with their Pokemon, like the people that have been using Requiem. Maybe like they're having issues and they have to go actually have therapy sessions for their Requiem addictions. That might be a thing. Nurse Joy is about to make $1 million. Leaf Storm would be an upgrade. The Magical Leaf is a Requiem metaphor for, well, I can't really say that word on stream because I might get sniped, so probably would calm down on saying that specific word because YouTube might not take kindly to that. So, not trying to like yell at anybody, but yeah, I won't say that just because I don't want to get sniped here. Leaf Storm will be the perfect move for the Nico's Masquerada. Give us another main character into the gym battles. 31 episodes per year minimum. You can just say 365 instead of 365, despite the number. I'll try. That's exactly what they need. Agreed. Wow. An hour and a half in here, and apparently we have 13 people watching? Nice. Didn't think we'd last this long. How about instead of Requiem or totally pharmaceuticals? Sure, that works. That's a good way to get around it. Sorry, I'm not in the loop. What's so bad about 365? Probably just his preference, I'm guessing. Would I be right to assume that? What can't you say on stream? Well, I don't want to say specific words like DRUGS, just because YouTube could potentially see that, take that in a direction and age restrict maybe, or even worse, take down the stream. Might not be the worst thing that I could say, but I don't want to risk it, if that makes sense. It might not even happen. It's just I'm being cautious, if that makes sense. Because I've heard stories of people, like, they'll say, like, something, like, will slip out and then boom. Stream taken down or age restricted. Potentially. We'll just say potentially. I mean, like I said, it might not happen. It's just, I would rather be better. I better be safe than sorry. I don't want to say it and then, like, in an hour, it's like, I get a message saying, like, oh, you got a community guideline strike. And I can tell you right now, if that happens, I think it's community guidelines where I can't stream for like 3 months. That would quite literally kill, that would literally kill, like, the thing I got going on here. I'd have to try to find a way around that if that happened. Yeah, so I'm not trying to, like, say, like, oh, well, as soon as I said that, that's why I was, like, I was kind of just, like, playing around with that. I was like, oh, well, I won't say that, but I know exactly what you're implying there, so. Just certain words, like, you can swear, but, like, certain words, I would say, like, if you said it, and if I said something that was offensive, boom. I'm in trouble at that point. Not that I'm saying I'm going to do something like that, but if I were to do that, I could get myself into hot water. not only with my community but with YouTube itself. So let's not poke the bear, so to say. Anyways, moving on from that. So we're an hour and a half into this stream. So getting kind of close to the end here, and I'm getting a little bit hungry now that you know, we're pretty much at the main time we usually wrap up these streams. So what else do you guys got for me before we head on out of here for today, and then we'll be doing this again in 3 weeks. Wonder how Captain Pikachu will react to Mega Raichus. We'll see. Pokemon is a comfort show. A lot of people look forward to a new episode every week. It's one of the highlights of many people's week. It's been like that for me since high school. Sure, I'm just telling that I think a seasonal approach would still be feasible. Not to mention, I'm in my the way I would see it, if you did 2 consecutive cores and then took a break for half a year to improve the quality, I think that could suffice, and you still have it every single year still. Just it'd take breaks. I got nothing else left to say, so enjoy your food and see ya. Alright, Harlster, thank you for hanging out with us today. Alright, anything else before we head on out? I'm a little bit hungry now, so I wonder what I should eat today. For some reason it's chilly where I'm at. Hot dog sounds kind of nice. Maybe I'll do that. So hope everyone has a good morning or afternoon, depending on what time zones are. Yep. Currently afternoon for me, so I gotta get my lunch. I mean, what happened to the series that shall not be named is after his proof that they were struggling. Well, yeah. Gotta go eat my spaghetti. Nice. Enjoy your food. You have nothing else left to say? Alright. Well, had a lot of fun with this stream. Yep. Me too. And on that note, I think we will, in fact, bring this stream to a close. So I am going to close the poll. We got 18 votes. 83% said 10-9. 17% said 8-7. So I would say, needless to say, the general consensus was that this was a good episode, a great episode. Might even be the best, so to say. But anywho, I'm gonna get going, guys. For this upcoming week, probably finish off DK Country 2, maybe start DK Country 3 for the Let's Plays. We did get some episode titles here, but I'm gonna wait until maybe we have like a proper summary or something for them to talk about them. So we'll see if we get that this week. If not, we'll just kind of be on the lookout. We got a little bit of a break between this episode and then the next, so yeah, hopefully the weather will be a little bit warmer by the time I do this again. But anyways, that's a wrap for today, and this is the last Horizons discussion for 3 weeks. So on that note, I'm gonna get out of here. So if you're still here, thank you so much for joining me today. Have a good day or night wherever you're at, and I will see you all later. Bye.